What's going on, boys and girls? Man City 2, Arsenal 1. Oh my God. Where do I start? Where do I start? I didn't do a match preview video. The reason I didn't do a match preview video is because I've been saying for a couple of weeks now that I'm sick and tired of listening to Arteta and Arsenal players and Arsenal social media team create all this hype, pre-game hype noise, and they're not coming through and delivering on the pitch. And so it just felt wrong of me to do a match preview video. I just wanted to get up, watch the game, and see what these players were going to produce. And once again, we've been left wanting. Once again, when we really needed to get the job done, we couldn't get it over the line. And by God, does it feel like we say that almost every time Arsenal are in a big, big game. And I think that's why it's just so deflating, because every time one of these big occasions comes around, despite the fact you've got nothing to back that hope onto, as a fan, you cling to that hope that maybe this game will be different. This will be the game where something clicks and something changes and we finally do deliver. And so that's what kind of got me up at 1:30 in the morning to watch this game and kind of go, right, let's have it. Let's see what we're about. Look, I've watched a lot of post-match content in the last couple of hours from Arsenal fans, mainstream media, rival fans, and look, I get it. We're creating content. We're trying to get our point across. We're trying to make a conversation, but I do think we can overcomplicate it. And for me, personally, if I'm being really, really honest, I think this comes down to two simple factors, and that is quality and desire. And I think in this game and in recent months, City have more quality and they have more desire than Arsenal. And that's just the simple truth of it. And in this game, they won both arguments. They had more quality on the pitch and they had more desire on the pitch, and that's why they won the game. The starting 11, not too many surprises. I guess the only surprise you could say is that he threw Odegaard in from the beginning, given that he's been out for a few weeks. But in saying that, Odegaard and Havertz are Arteta's absolute love child, so it's not that surprising. Whether it was the right decision or not, I don't know. I didn't mind the fact that he threw Eze over on the left and brought Odegaard in. It at least was something different. And he started Havertz up top, which I kind of picked him to do. And again, I can't argue with that because that's what I said was probably the better option for this game. There's so many things that I want to talk about. So this video might get a bit all over the place, but let's just kind of start. Let's work our way through the game. 4th minute, City start lively, on top, aggressive, full of energy, as you would expect. Cherky, shot, Gabriel, arms behind the back, body on the line, comes off his shoulder, hits the post, into Raya's arms. Phew, could have been 1-0 down in the first 5 minutes, which would have been a disaster. 15th minute, Man City score. Now, a lot of people have kind of questioned Gabriel for this first goal, but I suggest you go back and watch this one again because I'm pointing the finger at Eze. The ball gets crossed over to the right-hand side. Nketiah intercepts it, headers it away. It goes up in the air, and there is a 50-50 aerial duel to be won between Eze and I think it was Bernardo Silva. Or maybe it was O'Reilly, I'm not sure. But either way, Eze, in my opinion, does not show enough desire, courage or fight to compete for that 50-50 aerial ball. Whether it's Silva or O'Reilly, they quite easily collect that ball due to the fact Eze doesn't compete for it. Feeds it to Cherky, and then Cherky has all the momentum to run into that box. A bit of magic, quick feet, ball's in the back of the net, 1-0 City. I really don't think Gabriel could have done much more than what he was doing. He was already on his back feet. He's got Cherky running at him. He knows he's in the penalty box. He can't do anything ridiculous or else he's giving away a penalty. And I think that just comes down to pure quality, which is the second word. So in that first goal, you've got the desire of Eze, so the lack of desire from Eze not to compete for that aerial ball, and then you've got the quality of Cherki to punish Arsenal in that moment. Then, before the City fans have even finished celebrating, out of pure harassment and hustle from Havertz, which is probably the only bit of credit I'm going to give him today, he forces Donnarumma into a mistake, gets his foot to the ball, back of the net, 1-1. Perfect response from Arsenal. And then the rest of that first half kind of plays its way out. City were definitely the more in-control team. They had more possession. They had the better chances in that first half. And again, I thought for the majority of the game, they were the better team. They really were. I know Arsenal had some great chances. City had chances as well. But from a point of controlling a football match, I think City were the better team throughout the 90 minutes. We go into the second half. I think for the first 15 minutes, we barely touched the ball in that second half. There was a somewhat contentious moment in the game around the 53rd minute where Havertz goes through. He gets fed through. A ball gets fed through to him. He's one-on-one with Kushinov, I believe, and it looks clumsy. Havertz goes over. There's calls for a foul. The foul's not given. And I'm really torn on this one because if I go back to the Saliba red card against Bournemouth last season at Bournemouth, that is the exact same thing to me, and Saliba gets sent off. So my only argument would be is where is the consistency? But let's face it, there is no consistency with this refereeing, so it is what it is. My bigger probably disappointment is the fact that Havertz essentially in that moment is looking for the easy option. He's going down. He's looking for the contact. He's looking to go down to try and win a free kick or a red card. How about you stay on your feet? How about you battle with Kushinov and go and score a goal? How about you do that? He was in front of Kushinov. If he shows a bit of strength and a bit of skill and controls that ball and starts attacking the goal, at the very least, he's able to get a shot away. So there's my disappointment. In the 60th minute, Eze, fantastic left-footed shot from outside the box. Hits the post, across the goal line. So close. Honestly, unbelievable effort from Eze. The whip he got on the ball to bend that for it even to come close to hitting the post like it did was exceptional. And that is why, for me, taking Eze off like Arteta did was a big mistake. Because in a game like this, we needed as many players on that field who could create something out of nothing. And at the moment, Eze is probably the only player in our team who can create something out of nothing. So I was really disappointed that he got taken off as early as he did. A couple of minutes after that shot, Man City go 2-1 up. Doku finds O'Reilly. In my opinion, Zubimendi was at fault here in terms of letting O'Reilly find that space. For some reason, Zubimendi just stopped tracking him. Doku found the pass into O'Reilly. O'Reilly crosses it into the box. And again, a lot of blame for this second goal has gone to Gabriel. I don't see it that way. If you watch this goal again, Nketiah and Odegaard come absolutely running into the central area of that box to obviously try and block the cross. Neither of them block the cross, which in my opinion is unacceptable. If you are both going to commit into that empty space to block that cross, block the cross. So neither of them do that. And then what happens is you leave Gabriel with Haaland and Semenyo. Now, yes, you could maybe say Gabriel was a little bit back-footed here and Haaland got the better of him. But again, if you look again at this one, Eze is not tracking back and following Semenyo. So in Gabriel's mind, he's got Haaland on his shoulder and he's got Semenyo there. He's got two players to keep an eye on. And in that split second of trying to decide which one to be more concerned about, Haaland sneaks in front of him and scores the goal. And again, desire from Eze to not track back and keep on Semenyo, and quality from Haaland to punish us with that one chance. City go 2-1 up, and from there, it is a long road back. But even after that, we have chances. In the 72nd minute, free kick, middle of the field, Odegaard whips it in, Gabriel header at the back post, it comes off O'Reilly, hits the post, bounces out, Havertz falling down, gets a shot off, blocked, out. In the 77th minute, this for me is a big moment. And this comes back to, again, the two words that I want to focus on in this video: quality and desire. Havertz and Bernardo Silva, 50-50, who wants it more, running on goal. A 34, 35, 36-year-old, how old is Bernardo Silva, against a younger, taller, more physically stronger player in Havertz, and Bernardo Silva wins that battle. And not only does he win the battle, but out of pure desperation and hopelessness, Havertz sticks his arm out and handballs it in the proceeding. And that for me was just another moment where it just sums up the difference between these two teams in terms of desire and quality. I want to call out someone. He's a very well-known Arsenal content creator, and he's one of my favorite content creators. So before I try and piggyback off his name, because that's really what I'm trying to do here, so, shoot me. But James, formerly of AFTV, now, Mr. Gooniverse. But James, you said something today that really I think you got incredibly wrong, and that was calling out Gabriel in particular for kind of losing his head in that game. And I strongly disagree with you. I think James portioned a significant amount of fault on both goals towards Gabriel. I disagree. I think the first goal is on Eze and the magic of Cherki, and I think the second goal is more on Nketiah and Odegaard for recklessly running in with and not achieving what they look to do by blocking the cross, and for Eze not having the desire to track back properly, which is something he's been guilty of a number of times this season. In terms of the headbutt situation, I'm sorry, but good on you, Gabriel, because I am personally sick of seeing Arsenal get little brothered by Man City. And Haaland and Gabriel all game, like they do every match, were having a battle of two strong-willed, strong players who refuse to give an inch. And in that moment, for me, Gabriel has to do exactly what he did. Which is to say, yeah, you might be 2-1 up. Yeah, you might have beat us in the Carabao Cup. Yes, you might have scored today, but you ain't gonna push me about. And I'm sorry, that's not a red card for me. It's not a red card. It's not. Maybe in this day and age it is, but I'm sorry, James. That is two players going head to head. Gabriel did not go like that. Yeah, okay, he pushed his head forward, but it's not a red card. And you know what? Even if it was a red card, I don't give a shit. Gabriel is one of maybe two warriors in our team, him and Declan Rice. So I'm sorry, I don't have an issue with that. Haaland is an absolute pest, and he gets away with a lot, and he throws his arms, moves his legs in Gabriel's direction, and does it really kind of smartly to not kind of be noticed too much. So for me, I got no issue with that, and I think, James, your opinion of Gabriel in this game, in my opinion, is wrong. So I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments for the handful of you who actually watch my videos compared to James. But James, I think you've got it wrong there with Gabriel. And then it comes to the big moment. The 94th minute, Trossard whips in an absolutely glorious cross right onto the head of Kai Havertz, and he hits it over the goal. Anywhere on target, that goes in the back of the net, and we steal a 2-2, and we stay in control of this title race. And again, quality. The simple truth is, we do not have enough quality in this team to beat a City side. Now, again, there's so much more that we can talk about here, and I've heard a lot of people going on at Arteta. And look, Arteta definitely has something to answer here. And he's the one who signed Havertz. He's the one who signed Madueke. He's the one who signed Gyökeres. He's the one who signed Jesus. He's the one who's kept Trossard and Martinelli as our left-wing options. So, yes, Arteta has a lot to answer for. And I do think that if we don't win a trophy this year, I do think it is time for a change. But the simple truth is, so many of these players are not as good as we like to make out that they are. That's the truth of it. And yes, I know Arteta signed him, but Arteta also signed a lot of these players when maybe we didn't have better options. Now, that might not necessarily be the case for Madueke. I think Madueke is the big one for me. Going into this season, after the last few seasons in the position we're in, we could have got such a better player than Madueke. Semenyo comes to mind. Cherky comes to mind. So that is a big red card in Arteta's way. Havertz, again, I can't remember those 2-3 seasons ago when we signed him, whether there was an out-and-out better option. But Havertz is not a player that you should have been signing. But there's plenty of players that Arteta has signed who have been fantastic. So I think that's a really kind of 50-50 balance. If you look at all of the signings that Arteta's done over the years, I think by the large of it, he's got a lot of them right. And I think a lot of the players now, whether through injury or just they've run their course, are not good enough. Like Trossard for me is a perfect example. When we signed Trossard, we were in a position where Trossard was the type of player we could sign. Now, in the position of wanting to win the Premier League, Trossard is no longer the answer as our starting left winger. It's the same with Martinelli. When we signed Martinelli, he was the type of player that we could sign. Now, trying to win the Premier League, trying to win the Champions League, he is not the answer. It's probably the same with Ben White. At the time, Ben White was the type of player we could sign. But right now, more so probably because of injuries, he's not the player who's going to win us the Premier League. And that's the issue we've got. It's the same with Gabriel Jesus. At the time, he was the type of player we could sign. Through injuries and through whatever reason, he is not the player who's going to win us the Premier League. So, for me, yes, Arteta has a lot of responsibility to take here. But I also think that the simple fact is that we do not have enough quality, and I don't think we've shown enough desire to win this Premier League. And that's really hard for me to admit, but I think it's the truth of it. Now, we have been unlucky with injuries this season. We have. But we can't use that. We can't use it. And we just have to put our hands up and say that, what's that saying? The cream always rises to the top. That's what's happening now, in my opinion. The cream is rising to the top. And I don't want to hear it anymore about City being in transition or not being as good as they once were. They are still a very, very good team, people. They signed Gabby and Semenyo in the January transfer window. Gabby is arguably one of the best centre-backs in world football. Definitely one of the top 2 or 3 in the Premier League. Semenyo is a fantastic player who's been in really good form for the last season and a half. So they're 2 players that they brought in January. They've got Haaland, arguably the best striker in world football. They've got Ryan Cherky, who's come in and absolutely lit the Premier League on fire. They've got Bernardo Silva, who is still at the top of his game. They have great players, people. They've got Donnarumma, who is arguably top 2, top 3 goalkeepers in the world. They have great players. This is not an absolute travesty that we're not potentially going to win the Premier League. But yes, we should be winning it. The build-up over the last few seasons, the progress, the steps forward, the position that we've been in, we should be winning this Premier League. It's that simple. We have let it fall through our fingers. We have. But, and again, I say this through gritted teeth, the quality is not there. Gyökeres, not good enough. Havertz, not good enough. Jesus, not good enough. Madueke, not good enough. Saka barely existed this season. Martin Odegaard barely existed this season. Eze has not been at the level we'd hoped. Martinelli, not good enough. Trossard, not good enough. Zubimendi has not been good enough. Ben White, not good enough. That's too many players that I've said not good enough. You can't win the Premier League. You can't win the Premier League with that many not good enoughs. Look at all the teams that have won the Premier League. At least 7 or 8 of those players have been an 8 out of 10 the whole way through the season. I'd love to know when you do the PFA team of the season at the end of the season, when that gets announced, the team that wins the league, there's usually probably at least 4 or 5 players from the team that won the season in the end of season PFA team of season. This year, even if we win the Premier League, maybe David Raya, maybe either Gabriel or Saliba, and maybe Declan Rice. That's it. 2 or 3 players max. So, yes, it's disappointing. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's embarrassing. Yes, we should. We should have won it. We should win it. But it's also not unthinkable that we haven't, because of everything that I've just said. So again, this isn't me giving Arsenal an out. This isn't me making excuses. This is me just being honest. We've got too many players that aren't good enough. We've got too many players who haven't reached the level that we needed them to reach. And on too many occasions when it's really mattered, I don't think we've shown enough desire or enough fight. And Man City are still a very good side. And they are proving that when it gets hot in the kitchen, they can deal with that heat. And we cannot. So I'm kind of numb to it, in the sense that I didn't think we were going to win this game. I really didn't. I wanted us with every fibre of my being to win this game, but we haven't. And I am what I am about it. We now have, 5 games left? On paper, City have some tricky games, but I do think their games are spaced out a little bit better than ours. We've got this Atletico Madrid Champions League semi-final, which is going to take a lot from us, and we still have some awkward games. Newcastle at home next weekend is not an easy game. I know Newcastle aren't playing great football right now, but trust me, that's not an easy game. I said that if we lost this game, I didn't think we deserved to be champions. I didn't want us to win the Premier League. I get that that's a bit of a nut statement, and I probably don't mean it, but when it's really mattered, we haven't done it, guys. We haven't done it this season. And City have. They beat Liverpool at Anfield. They beat Chelsea. They beat us in the Carabao Cup final. They beat us today. When it's really mattered, City have got the 3 points when they've needed to get the 3 points. We have not done that. And so even if we, by some miracle, go on and somehow scrape over the line in this one, it's hard to sit here and say we're better than City. It really is. But that's a conversation for down the road. I just think we now have to be perfect, and even perfect is not good enough. If we win all of our games, if City win all of their games and score more goals than us, they win the Premier League. And again, goal difference right now, who are you backing to score more goals between now and the end of the season? Arsenal or Man City? Man City. So that means we are now in a position where we are now relying on City to slip up. And to think, 2 months ago we were 10 points clear or whatever it was. I remember that game against Brighton. City had drawn against West Ham or whoever it was. We managed to scrape a 1-0 win against Brighton. And the crowd was going nuts. I was sitting there going, oh my God, I think we've done it. And here we are, hoping that Man City slip up in their final 5 or 6 games. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I've tried to be as honest as I can, people. Hate me for it, love me for it. James, I'm sorry for taking a shot, but it's my chance of maybe trying to get a few more views on this one. Feel free to reply. But yeah, quality and desire. That's where we've fallen short. In this game, in previous games, and it's the reason why I don't think we'll win the Premier League. Have a good day, people.